we are making our own version of chicken parm, I guess. It's a little burnt, but we're gonna let it cool off before we put it on the plate. Ooh. She's a little burnt. She's a little burnt. I never said I was a professional chef, but well, I'm gonna enjoy this food and watch as the sun goes down, watching these geese float down the river. From that trail that's coming down the ridge. It's too far. I don't really have a good shot at it that I can see right now. But once it gets a little lighter, I should be able to see that trail. Then I can see the river. Well, we've been sitting here for about 2 hours now. Not much is happening. There's not been any movement. Like I was saying, I sat about 20 yards shy of where I wanted to be. And I just can't see much. I mean, everything you see right here is what it looks like for 20, 30 yards. And that trail is just on the other side of this thick stuff. hop around on that trail. It's starting to rain. Also, driving in this morning, there was deer everywhere in the fields, in the road. They were all moving really early. Shoo! Something stinks in there. I think it's my other pair of boots. Well, it's a nice little walk back. Didn't really see much. Just some basic browse on all the understory. It's just a pretty beat down trail trail coming out of the woods there across the creek. It's mostly doe sign though. So I don't know. I think the key here is to get in very, very deep. I think this afternoon we're gonna go just down the road here, go up on top of that ridge, put the stuff in the truck, let's go shoot the bow, get some food, regroup. We're gonna figure out what we're doing. It's 1:50. We're gonna make some lunch, peanut butter and tortillas, I guess. And then we're gonna head up this ridge. We're gonna get in there pretty early. Kind of a cool spot. There's that feed tree that's up there, and there's some buck bedding around it. And then to the west, about 100 yards, is a field. It's a cut hay field, kind of like the one I'm standing next to. But it's on the same ridge line, and there's also a water source out there. So in theory, they're going out and not only getting water out there, but feeding in that hay field. I've seen more deer this week in cut hay fields than I have in bean fields, which is bizarre. I don't know what the reasoning is for that. I'm not sure if all the beans are too late in the season for them to eat or what, but we're gonna eat this and then get up in there. All right, we're ready. The wind's kind of shifting around a little bit, but we're gonna take it slow. Once we start getting up there, it's kind of unknown where they're gonna be bedding at today. And this wind just kind of iffy, so I'm just gonna wind check the whole way up there and kind of just play it by ear until we get to the top, and hopefully it works out. So let's go. Probably about 100 yards from where I want to set up. But one of the things that I'm trying to do different this year is not be in a rush all the time. Last year and the years before, I just felt like I was always rushing into a spot, being loud and careless. And now I'm more trying to focus on being quiet and stealthy coming into a spot, especially playing the wind and coming into the spot. Now, one thing that I didn't plan on, I bought some new deodorant. I thought it was scent free. Well, I'm sitting here standing like this, and all I can smell is my deodorant. Not good. Deadfall has a barrier right here, and that goes over top the ridge. That goes over the ridge top just to the east, kind of like the southeast, and we have a west wind that's blowing west to east, and if I stay on this side of the ridge, I should be all right. And all the fingers are on the other side. And my theory is those deer are going to be working up those fingers to this top ridge tonight and working across to these feed trees that are up top. So I'm going to give it like 5 more minutes, cool off a little bit, and then we're going to make our way and try and find a tree over here and get just about ridge height in the tree. And we'll have ourselves about a 5-hour sit this evening. I'm excited. Well, we got in here pretty quietly. I mean, it went really well. I had to ponder for a second to pick what tree I was going to sit in. 2 hours. I haven't seen anything. Had some squirrels and chipmunks feeding on these acorns. Every time that wind picks up, they drop out of the tree. Hoping here in the next hour or two we get some movement coming through here. Possibly headed out towards that field. It's about 200 yards from me. I'm running low on snacks. I've got about 2 bites of trail mix left. It's gotta hold me over for 3 hours. I just don't think it's gonna happen tonight. We're running out of daylight. We got about 20 minutes left. I haven't seen or heard anything. Just a bunch of squirrels. Morning. Day 2 here. I got sausage links and coffee. I actually made the sausage and the coffee last night. The sausage just cold it, put it in the cooler all night. Somehow my coffee is still warm. I put it in this little Yeti cup thing, and it's still warm, so that kind of made my night. I'm super pumped about that. But we're gonna head to a spot this morning that I think has potential. I saw some fresh buck tracks in there the other day. It's a little transition spot between a cornfield and a bean field. My only hope is that there's nobody else there, because that spot of public I think gets hunted a lot because there's a lot of planted ag fields. So hopefully we can get in there and not be crowded. It's a good spot. I think if they're moving and there's bucks in the area, that they'll be coming through there this morning. It's 46 degrees out right now. It's pretty cold, and I have 0 layers. I did not think it was gonna get this cold, so I've got a short sleeve on over a long sleeve, and I've got a flannel I can put on, and I have some brush pants on. It's the warmest stuff I got. So hopefully it warms up, because if not, I'm gonna be freezing. It's been a eventful morning, to say the least. It took a little bit longer to get in here than I thought, and I couldn't find a tree. The same problem every day, but we're in a really, really good spot. The only bad thing is, it's right at first light. I was trying to check the wind with some milkweed. As soon as I flicked it off my finger, I got busted like 60 yards to the north. And she only blew one time. But it's very, very cold in here. We're like right at the mouth of this lake. The thermals are still pulling straight down, so I'm not really worried about the wind. And we're like on a clear-cut trail going field to field, but it's overgrown, like 8 to 10 feet tall. There's a beat-down trail right through the middle of it. I thought this place was going to be packed with people this morning. There's nobody here. This is going to be a good spot to sit. Tonight, I'm very cold. My nose is running. eventually gonna have to move trees. I feel like I'm a little too exposed right here. So for now, we're just gonna have to not move at all. I wish I had a face mask. What a dummy. Well, it's mid-morning. I think we got some good intel from the movement this morning up towards that bean field. We'll pull out of here. Try and backtrack pretty slow and quiet. Looking for a sign. Come up with a game plan to hunt this same area this evening. The wind's supposed to shift around like 4 o'clock, so it's probably when we'll start heading in here. I'd like to try and push as far as I can up in there, but I don't know if being aggressive's a play or not tonight.
It's 3:10. It's time to get back at it. We got a new spot picked out. It's not far from where we were at. We're trying to target that thick overgrown field edge going into a bean field. My theory is where that thick field is, it kind of is like a peninsula that comes to a point and it's surrounded by water, obviously. I'm thinking that they're bedding in there due to the isolation. There's zero pressure that gets back in there. There's only one way in, and that's the way we're going in, human access wise. And it's kind of a pinch point to where from where I can sit to the other side of that field, it's about 50 yards. Where I was watching those does this morning, they were walking straight through that pinch, and I mean, it was picture perfect. I just got to figure out which side of that field's going to work best for the wind that's coming out of the north tonight. I don't want to sit for the wrong wind, but I think sitting on the north end of the field, even with a wind that's heading south, will be our best bet for the setup. So I guess we'll just get in there and see what it looks like and decide where to sit once we get it.
This spot's kind of confusing. But essentially it's this really young growth. A lot of it's looks like sycamores and maples. And then it's all clear cut that's out through here. Right here is a bean field. And they're running along this edge. There's old rubs all over these trees. I'm gonna try and get down to the corner of this bean field where it runs to the right. And set up right on that corner, but if there's no trees that I can get in, we're gonna have to set up on the ground in this thicker stuff if possible. This spot ain't gonna work out like I thought. I looked around everywhere. There's no good place to set up to ambush. Everything's gonna be within 2 yards, like that's what it looks like. My best bet is to walk back down this trail, just past those rubs on the trees, and set up about 10-15 yards off this trail along the fence line, and hope that they're working this fence line. We've got a lot of scent in here now, but hopefully they're going to be working with the wind coming this way. We sat this morning, had a group of trees right behind me, about 40 yards. Right in front of me is exactly where those does walked in. My theory is if they're bedding back here up that creek drainage, or back here along the water, there's the water, if they're bedding back along the water, my wind's gonna be blowing straight down this little cut, and those deer are gonna funnel here and go straight into this bean field. I'm 45 yards from the fence line and them beans. We'll see what happens. We're gonna try and get as high as we can in this tree. That way we have a good shooting opportunity out towards some beans. After much deliberating, and I mean a lot, it's 5:30. We just got set up. I ran into hiccup after hiccup after hiccup. After I turned around back there, tried to set up in a tree. Just didn't have a good feeling about it. My gut was telling me to not set in that tree. The wind was just not looking good for me. So I decided to come back towards this corn where the opening is, thinking, they're bedded in the corn. I actually ran into a guy, and he kind of agreed with me. He said the same thing last night. He seen a little spike bug and some does walk out of the corn. So I said, okay, last ditch effort. I'll move back here to this field opening where the wind still sucks, but it's my best bet. It's either that or I try to go to a different spot by road, and by that it's just gonna be too late. So I decided just to get into the tree. Well, I was over here picking a tree out. There's a guy picking a tree out about 20 yards from me, and I said, perfect. Well, yesterday I was wondering where all the pressure was. Well, I found it. Kind of a last-ditch effort. This might be our last day here. So if we don't get it done tonight, we're gonna be back about middle of the fall, maybe during the rut. We got some good spots picked out, man. So, fingers crossed we run into something tonight. It's a pretty night. I was sweating hard getting in here, but I feel good now. It's supposed to drop, the temperature's supposed to drop in about 30 minutes. Go from like 72 to about 64 within an hour, so hopefully that thermal drop should have the deer up on their feet pretty quick and move into food source or just getting up, stretching, moving around. So sit tight, see what happens. I think he's about to come down here and attack me. I think he thinks my microphone's his worst enemy.
With the sun quickly fading into the night, I knew my hopes of wrapping my hands around that velvet mass were coming to an end. And unfortunately, this was the last night that we would hunt. There's a few things that I learned from this trip. One being that the bucks aren't always where they're supposed to be. At times I almost force myself to believe that with all the sign and the acorns dropping, that there should be bucks in the area, in which I know in the back of my mind that that's not true. Another thing that I learned was even though there was crisp mornings well into the 40s, it doesn't always mean that their habits are going to be the same as they are in the fall. With acorn production ramping up, I can almost bet that these bucks are going to start moving a lot more, especially with these lower temps and fall quickly approaching. But I'm not losing hope on putting a buck down, because the season in Tennessee is right around the corner. With plenty of spots lined up and 2 weeks till season, there's still time to check a few more boxes. But until then, if you are hunting, good luck and have a good season. Until next time.